Hi, I'm Dr. Caroline Leaf and welcome to my podcast, Cleaning Up the Mental Mess. In today's podcast, I'm going to give you 4 tips that are instant mood boosters. I know you've heard these before, but you know what? You can't hear these often enough and they work. These 4 mood boosters will change how your mind-brain-body network works. You are going to boost neurochemicals like endorphins, enkephalins, oxytocin, anandamide, dopamine. They flow together in a very organized way. Our biochemistry is very complex, but when we do these 4 things I'm about to tell you, you're going to stimulate those to be released in your brain and then in your body, with your brain to your body, in a way that is going to increase brain health and make you instantly feel like you can cope with something. And sometimes when you feel overwhelmed, we just need to get our neurophysiology boosted, which then makes us feel different, and then it's easy to get into the cognitive work of dealing with whatever you have to deal with. But sometimes our mood can drag us down and our body and brain just do not feel great. So our mind is trying to work through the brain and the body that's not feeling great, and then it just like drags us down. Okay, so these work very fast, very quickly, and are very effective. They not going to have a long-term solution because they're things that you have to do repeatedly. So they last for a bit, and then if you're feeling down again, you'll use them again. But that's okay because they really work. And that's when you get in the habit of doing these, when you're feeling down, then you just do them again. So they're things that you can use all the time. I was actually using some of these in the last couple of days because we've just been working so hard that I actually felt and we had so much going on and all kinds of things, and I felt my mood dropping a little bit. So I know these and I do them and they really do help. I did these with my patients as well. And you've heard them all before, but I'm going to remind you again. Okay, so the first one is engage in physical activity. Okay, so physically. So let's say that you are feeling down. You don't have to do any major, you don't have to go to the gym and do a whole workout. You could literally, I'm on a swivel chair. You could just like literally look away and just move around. Just some gentle movement like that, moving your head up and down, rolling your head around, doing this with your fingers like 20 times, moving your hands like that. Jump on, get on the floor. I'm not going to do it because you won't see me. Do some couple of press ups. Maybe just do, just stretch up. Any kind of movements. Get up and walk around. Walk downstairs and upstairs. I mean, I'm saying downstairs because I know that at my studio I've got some stairs and I walk into a cute little garden. Walk down, walk around the garden. Throw a toy for your dog. I mean, I'm giving you honestly simple things that aren't huge. That are a minute or 2 of activity, and jump up and down on the spot. These things multiple times a day are just fantastic mood boosters, like I've just said. So simple. So there's tons of research on how regular activity is going to improve mood and boost your mood. I've done a couple of in-depth podcasts where I've interviewed experts on this as well. And I mean, these are just to remind you, do it. Don't just sit still. We become so sedentary and it's so easy to just get when your mood is down, you don't want to move. So force yourself to move. Practice moving. Make it a habit before your mood gets down. So keep the moving. So if you find yourself being still for too long, just do some kind of movement. And the little movements add up. They're cumulative. There's a lot of research now showing that like just 2 minutes of activity multiple times a day is actually better than going to do a 45-minute intensive workout in the gym. You get so much more benefit. Things like as well, what I also do, we've got lots of stairs in one of our homes, and I will always try and run up the stairs instead of walking up the stairs, or walk up pretty quickly, or if I've got to go somewhere and it's not too far and it's not too hot, even if it is hot, I'll try and walk there instead of jumping in the car and driving there, and just little things like that. It's just really good for you. Just train yourself to do those little things. And then the other one that I know you've heard so much of, people talk about it all the time, and that's practicing gratitude. And without sounding too cheesy or, like too spiritual, whatever, gratitude is just like a little, like just thank you for being alive. You can do the whole gratitude journals. I'm not anti all of those. Obviously not. You can use those. They're really great. I'm a great believer in gratitude, but not just to think, okay, I'll be great. I'll sit down in the morning and I'll do this gratitude journal at night before I go to bed. Do that. But practice being grateful constantly. Like I'm saying, the little movements are building and accumulative. The little gratitude moments build and are accumulative. So when you feel your mood dropping, just in that moment, just think of a little thing that you're grateful for. Like maybe listening to my podcast because it's helping you, or, just the fact that you can smile. You practice the little ones that accumulate, those little tiny habits that accumulate of gratitude are more effective than sitting down and doing the gratitude journal, which will help. But if you limit it to 2 points in the day or something like that, or okay, I'm going to do a gratitude journal, or I'm going to do a gratitude exercise that I'm going to do, means you may not get to it. So I'm saying just, make it part of your lifestyle. Train yourself when you're not in a bad mood to be grateful for things, so that when you are in a mood, you've built a network in your brain, you can draw on it, that's increasing and unmasking your resilience. So that's a huge thing, that this regular tiny little bits of gratitude, tiny little bits of movement, these are building beautiful resilience networks in your brain, that when you're in the place of challenge, where your mood is dropping, you can draw on those very much more easily. They're accessible. They are networks that are accessible to drive your mood in a better direction. And then the third one, connect with others. Text someone. Send someone a little, hey, I love you and I've been missing you, or what's going on in your life today? Those little things, or phone someone or invite someone out. Really connecting with others is really a fantastic thing. We had such a beautiful time today. My eldest daughter gave birth to our first grandchild, and her little daughter Daphne was born on the 24th of August at 12:35, and that was this morning for me of the day that I'm recording this podcast. So I'm just on a high, and we had such a beautiful, I'm so grateful for that. And we had such a lovely time. We all went to the hospital, all my other kids, and we would spend a couple of hours chatting. I was there before the birth and after the birth. And, so that's a beautiful connection that we had, just sitting there chatting and talking and sharing, and just out of the natural routine of the day. And it was just so much fun. Just recently I saw a friend that I haven't seen for a while, and it's so easy to get caught up in busyness, we all know that, but just making the effort to stop and say, hey, and let's chat, and catching up. And it was a 15-minute phone call, and it was just so beautiful. Reaching out to share something with a friend, sharing some friends that I haven't spoken to, a cousin I haven't spoken to for ages, just texted out of the blue, hey, I heard your daughter had her baby, and we caught up, and it was a 10-minute chat, and we caught up, and it just, that connection was, my mood was okay, my mood was already high, but those little chats really do make a difference. So I know that, and I know that when my mood's dropping a little bit, I will make an effort to connect, whether it's with my husband or one of my kids or one of my friends or with my mom or with my sister. Even when I don't feel like it, I will force myself to just do some level of connection. Don't have much energy, it'll be via text. If I have energy, I'll phone, or whatever the case may be. So these will immediately change your neurotransmitters, the way your energy waves are flowing, your alpha, beta, delta, gamma, all these different waves, the way that your endocrine system is functioning, the way that your heart is pumping blood. When you do these three things, it's doing good stuff in all those areas. And the key is to practice doing lots of little mood boosting tips when you're in a good mood, so that when you're in a bad mood, you've got the networks already built, so it's very easy to access them. The little ones cumulatively are more powerful than a big burst of planned exercise or big burst of planned gratitude. Doesn't mean you can't do those, but the little ones built up accumulatively are the real mood changes. So it's engage in physical activity, it's practice gratitude, and it's connect with others. Oh, and there's a fourth one. Not 3, 4, is engage in a creative or enjoyable activity. Do you have enough creative and enjoyable activities that you have built into your life? Or are you just working and then collapsing at night in bed? And that's something that we also need to build into our life. And maybe it's just reading. Our family, we love reading. And we always find these. My eldest daughter who's just had her baby always finds these incredible series. And then she encourages all of us to read them. And then we read these books, even if it's a page at night or whatever, and then we talk about them. And, it's just something that we love to do. And something else that I love to do is my research. It's a huge part of my life, and I love it. So I've built those. I've deliberately and intentionally chosen to build those activities into my life and have made them part of my life. So those, as I said, even a page of reading or even a page of research can change my mood almost immediately. So once again, the key, guys, is the little bits and pieces. The little atomic ones will build up into the big, accumulate into the big impact. And that network is there to help you when you need it, unmasking your resilience. So thanks for joining me today, and go try out some mood boosters.